Okay, so this is the history of the creative art world I've been working on throughout COVID. I don't remember when it started. I thought it had started early, late 2019. I went through and I saw the photo that I've taken of this place from, I think it was right about here, looking up here. And that was dated early, either late February or early March of 2019, when this was started. Whereas the actual art, or at least art screenshot, happened late 2019. All I can really remember is that it started sometime in December, well, at least the first screenshot is December 2019. With only a little bit added to it. I remember I had built these, schoolhouse rooms, modeled after the Doki Doki Literature Club, school. Of course, the bee got out. And the whole, schoolhouse was really just the start of that whole, yeah, did this game, now let's go and do something about it. And I never honestly thought that this would get as big as it did. This just started out as a fun little creative world. Let's just, add a fun little, botany class. There's plants and shit around here, and a bucket of water. Or look, it's science, because there's potions and nether stuff. But ever since that time, it just fucking exploded. Between, those first little moments and now, there was just, oh my god, there was so much. This resort, well, quote-unquote resort here, was modeled after a real resort that I had went to. Stupidly enough, went face first down that slide, and now I look like Harry Potter. Yes, I will never let that go. Don't ask. But this was a resort that I had always come to back on that vacation. I don't know if that was, 2019 or before that. Pretty sure it was before that. But I had seen it, I'm like, you know what, I want to do something in fucking Minecraft. So I took some photos of this place and redesigned this whole pool area. And then, with other creative worlds that I've had, I've built mini-golf courses. So this was another, early addition to it. Is the mini-golf. But, a few months later, in April of 2020, I had started work on this. Now, I'm pretty sure anyone would know what this is if you've been anywhere around the internet. Fuck, God damn it, the store is closed. Anywhere around the internet in this, era, they would immediately be able to tell what this is. So, I'd built the Five Nights at Freddy's house, and lazy teleports. I decided to build the Destiny 1 tower. I know this may not be, picture perfect. It's been absolutely forever since I've played Destiny, or at least Destiny 1. But from what I remember, this was pinpoint perfect. There's nothing weird, other than, little Easter eggs and shit. But this was, perfect at the time. I was content with it being the way that it is. Yeah, the tower and the Five Nights at Freddy's, at least FNAF 1 location, were two of the first things, other than, the clubhouse and the resort, that was built on this world. Later on, in August of 2020, there was just generally, more art added. In January 2021, instead of sitting up in the sky like a fucking idiot and looking down and then having things be tilted, aggravatingly tilted like that, I decided to switch over to getting the screenshot through maps, which was originally laid here, but sometime in 2022, this had to, it got laid to rest. In March 2021, I had recreated Rainbow Road just off on the side, thinking, oh, I'll never get the screenshot to be this big, right? Oh, I was wrong. I'll come to that later. In June of 2021, that's when I first started actually numbering the art. The art counter up here. And that started with 300. August of 2021 was 400 with no more Rainbow Road. September of 2021 started what I like to call the point-and-click variants. Now, you see this and you think, holy shit, this is fucking huge. Well, what's even better is there's point-and-click differences. November 2021 is when I honestly thought I would be done with this whole, project, just because I had gotten kind of bored of it. And I thought, you know what? Fuck it, let's end it off with a number of a song that I know and absolutely love. 570 from Motionless in White. And early into 2021, 2022, January of 2022, is when I decided to make the Kanto Pokédex. Because at the time, still love Pokemon to death, but at the time I'm like, you know what, fuck it, let's do something nice. Let's make Kanto, because Kanto, first off, is, for the Game Boy sprites, easy enough to make. So I decided to work on the Kanto Pokédex, and eventually complete that. February of 2022, I decided to make Johto. I was a little bit hesitant about making, Kanto and Johto, because I'm like, you know what, I love Kanto, Johto, and Sinnoh. Hoenn I never had played at the time, so it was still, kinda eh. I don't know if I want to make Hoenn because I've never had an emotional attachment to any of these new Pokemon. June of 2022, I guess I had said fuck it, because that's when I had 666 art for point and click. Later on in June, I had the Kanto, Johto, and Hoenn Pokédex, but somehow, well, not somehow, but between moving all of these around, there's not enough room on these maps, so I had to move them out. And when moving them, I somehow fucking forgot Sandslash. Later on in June of 22, the Sinnoh Pokédex was added, and I re-added Sandslash because apparently, then I got a brain. In August of 2022, I got the screenshot, with all, the Rotom forms, the balls, Sunstone and shit, and the Alolan forms for the picture of 1 to 493 with regionals. September of 2022 is when I decided to say, you know what? Fuck it. If I'm going to continue this, I'll make Unova. Since I started playing Pokemon with Unova's release, it always has held a special place in my heart for just really anything. Unova came out, I'm like, damn, first time really playing it other than watching the anime. So we got the whole, Unova Pokédex. October of 22, I said, fuck it, if I'm going to make Unova, I might as well make everything up to that point. So in October, I had added Kalos. Also, later on in October, apparently I also did Alola and Galar. Now, Galar was a pain in the ass. It's fucking huge. These Pokemon are massive by comparison to any other game. Now, later on in November of 2022, I had decided to, I think, honestly compile most of what I had done for, all the other ones. The other, quote-unquote main canvas. And I had made the Keyblades, or like most of the different Kingdom Hearts 1 Keyblades. A lot more difficult than you would think. It's really difficult to get a good amount of, like, color in Minecraft. I mean, excluding, Riku's Way to the Dawn. Later on in November of 22, I had created the Hishui Pokemon. And later on, in November, I had created the first paintings, and I'm assuming this Pikachu. The notes just say Pikachu, so I'm assuming it's this one. And those paintings really started off on its like own, journey of creating paintings instead of just collections. It wasn't just like, oh yeah, look, here's a bunch of like Five Nights at Freddy's plushies, or here's its own thing. It's like, now here's its own, like things that you would hang up on your wall kind of paintings design. And at some point in 2022, I don't actually have a specific month or date, it was the Mario Mosaic here, hat-trick. And personally, one of my absolute favorite things I think I've ever done. Not only because it's fucking massive for what it is. I don't remember if it took like a week or something, or just a couple days. It's huge. Like, if I could have this, like, as a fucking, like, wall painting or a poster, I would actually fucking put a nail in my wall to put this up instead of just hanging it against, like, a chair or something and saying, that's good enough. Now, going back to the main picture, or the main canvas, in January of 2022, or 23, sorry, that's when I finally hit the 777 that you see here. And later on in January, it's when I started the collections, which is all these over here, with the Five Nights at Freddy's plushies, then the Kingdom Hearts over here. Honestly, those cards were more of a pain in the ass than you would think. February of 2023 was the Pokeball collection. Later on in February, it was the Scavenger Hunt, which is these two maps here. And all of these items are hidden within this canvas. I mean, I haven't personally, done the Scavenger Hunt because I fucking built this over 3 years. But they're all there, I can guarantee you it. There's also Waldo somewhere, if you can find Waldo. And later on in February, once I actually found a website that actually had all the new Chaldean Pokemon, I created this Pokedex. And all the way over here is the Pokemon Form Dex. Any different, like, at least to start, form was there. Then was upgraded to most of the regionals. In March, I had created this little Pokemon wreath. And yeah, I know, a little bit late to Christmas. March might be a little bit out of season, but later on in March, I had created this one. 494 to 905 with balls. Later on, it was the forms, regions, and genders. And then later on, I had created the Chain of Memories cards and added the Chain of Memories cards to this little canvas here for Kingdom Hearts. In March, there was also all the different badges and evolutionary items and stones. April of 2023, I had worked on this beach scene, the Simpsons house, this seasonal tree, and this honestly weird-ass, kind of trippy wallpaper. June of 2023 was all the different forms of Arceus. You know, when you slap him with a stone, he'll change his form and become a different type. I just smacked him with stones. July of 2023 was Adventure Time. Mostly just because I had seen, you know, Finn and Jake doing their thing. I'm like, you know what? I don't care how fucking big this is. I want this. Like, it's just perfect as it is. Later on in July, it was the tribute to all the friends with the Kingdom Hearts Wayfinders. You know, everyone that I have had before, or anyone that has any, like, serious importance, you know, with their own little, like, you know, name or color, you know, or tag or whatever. All here, all to be able to remember them. It's like in Kingdom Hearts, you know, no matter where you are, you'll always be together with the Wayfinders. Now, later on past that, it was the ultimate screenshot. The biggest screenshot I have done on this world. And before actually getting a chance to really finish a couple things, I had started on these QR codes here for the YouTube channel. I also, in July, since I was incredibly disappointed with a puzzle of the Johto, like, map for Pokemon, I said, fuck it, and loaded up Crystal, looked at the map, and copied it. You know, pixel by pixel, copied the Kanto and Johto region into Minecraft because I was disappointed with a puzzle. If that's not autism at its finest, I don't know what is. In August of 2023, this Rainbow Road, the Mega Evolution here, Planet Express, I'm still kind of disappointed there's so much just empty space in the sky. This glorious Magikarp meme. The Pikachu doing, well, not doing surf, but like riding the Lapras. Small little mouse doing the best job he can. And in September, it was these extras finally compiled into their own little, like, map section. Adding the Gigantamax Pokemon here. The extra forms, mostly the Kalos forms. And the final screenshot of everything that's been in this world. Which I know, you know, this seems like, holy shit, there's a lot, but still probably going to be more. There's at least, you know, a few ideas I've got for the future. Which is this, but shiny. That's gonna, well, take me forever to move this and copy it to make it shiny, but damn, it's definitely something that's gonna happen eventually. Probably its own little, like, Pokedex for Pokemon Fusion. Or you fuse like a Spearow and a Magikarp and it looks dumb as hell. A Pokemon recolor, or like shiny recolor concept. So where, you know, Swana's like white and blue. You know, what if Swana happened to be like fucking green or something? To like, ooh, possibilities! And 100% for sure, once they get the DLC Pokemon, definitely updating this Pokedex and adding the DLC ones when they come out. So, there's no real new ideas to be done other than those. But there is, however, a few other, you know, things that have been done in this world. And I think are pretty neat. I doubt anyone's gonna understand this without being explained to them, unless if you've played the original Mario Bros. Way too many times. I don't remember when I did this, but a while ago I did level 4-2. Because... I don't even remember. I just remember it was some speedrunning video that I'm like, you know what, this would be really fucking cool to make. So I found it, and I made it. And yeah, it's kind of a sad story. Kind of sad and dumb. This here, I mean, I'm sure you can guess what it is based on those houses, but this is a little underwater section I decided to dedicate to the little SpongeBob area. Oh, I'm in Spectator. Little SpongeBob area dedicated to the different SpongeBob, like, sections, you know, Krusty Krab at least. I don't know, it's just one of those, like, silly but fun side projects that just happens to eventually get made. Now, one of the other things that has been absolutely huge, that even has its own dedicated video, I'll have that, you know, linked in the description if you want to check it out. There's Traverse Town here. From, you know, all the different NPCs, even the chests. Well, unfortunately, never really did. Like, the monsters, right, never actually did more with this other than just recreating it. I mean, it is still pretty good. It's pretty much picture perfect. Yeah, if you're interested in having a more detailed walkthrough comparison, that video will be in the description. Here we are. So, I've really shown this off a tiny bit here and there, but this is the art room, where everything just is. Everything from the small beginnings to where it is now, it's all located in this tiny little room. And eventually, maybe gonna screenshot these point-and-click differences. Oh shit, where is it? Is it? Okay, that's just a random button. Oh. Getting trolled by my own map. Now, here's another idea that I've wanted to maybe work on. Is more like note block songs. Like, I know this is cool and all, but I don't even feel like they'd have other ideas that I want to make for these. So far, this is kind of just its own thing that I've just never worked on. Or never really updated from there. Oh yeah, that's it. That's the end of the pixel art world. If this is goodbye for the world, well, I mean, it's been a fucking blast over the last, like, 4 years building this. But there's probably gonna be more, knowing me. So, there may be a future video on this, kind of showing off what's new or what's changed.